been reading. I read this book a long time ago. I'm reading it again. And next few weeks, I'll just be going through a couple chapters from it, right? It's called Winning with People. When it comes down to building a big team, you have to increase your people skills. That is what we are lacking, okay? I don't care if you've been here for 6 months, if you've been here for 5 years. There are a lot of people that I deal with personally in this room. You guys got to work on your freaking people skills. If you don't have anybody showing up, it doesn't matter what you think, right? You have to improve this area. That's how you're going to attract people. And I was reading this book, and of course, number one, I'm not perfect. I'm reflecting on myself. How am I dealing with people? But then I'm thinking about, these are things that my team needs to hear. This is the reason why Primerica, a lot of people, although we're known as a recruiting organization, very few people in Primerica actually build a team when you look at the numbers. And in other businesses, when you talk to people that are self-employed and you say, why don't you ever build a business? Why don't you hire and train people? The first thing that most people say is, I just don't want to deal with people. Because people bring with them what? People problems. I'm talking to you, you're going through a divorce. I'm talking to you, you got money issues. I'm talking to you, you have a boyfriend issue. I'm talking to you, you have health issues. I'm talking to you, you got something happen back in your country. Talking to you, you hate your job. And now I'm working with 5 people, and I got to hear from everyone everything that's going wrong in their life. Yeah, well, you know what? Me personally, that's what I signed up for. I'd rather do that than go and work for somebody else. But I have learned how to deal with that. Does that make sense? And I've learned how to become the kind of person where you come to me with that, and maybe I can add some value in your life to help you deal with what's going on. A lot of recruiting is that, right? So let's go through this. Let's talk about this. You've heard this quote. I think it came from John Maxwell himself, because this book was written a long time ago. He said, hurting people hurt people. Hurting people hurt people. So I'm going to read a couple of things that he has in here in regards to this. In the book, they say that 1 in 4 Americans is imbalanced. And then they say, we should look at our 3 closest friends, and if they seem okay, you're the one.
Oh my God!
Okay?
That's funny.
So dude, look, here's the thing. We're going out and we're talking to people. We're going out, we're asking people for appointments. And a lot of times, we know people on a surface level, right? So you go and you meet that person for coffee all the time, or if you're going out, you guys are just going to the bar, or you're going to meet them at a party, or you're going to a restaurant. You know people at a surface level. But now, I'm asking you to set an appointment. We're talking about money. That's something that maybe we never talked about before, and I see a different side of you. Or I'm saying, hey, come join my business, because surface level, you seem like you got it all put together. And now we're spending a little more time together in settings we never have, and you start to learn a little bit about this person. Right? So you got to know that going in. There's a lot of people out there that are hurting. Those hurting people often hurt other people. So the people that are hurting, right, the comments that people make and the things that they say to talk us out of doing this and about the company and why it won't work for us and all that, these are hurting people and they want to hurt us.
Right.
When I started learning these things, I stopped taking it so personal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, dude, this person, whatever you're going through is whatever you're going through. I'm not going to quit on my goals and dreams because you got something going on in your life. That's the way that you have to look at it. If you hate a person, you hate something in them that is a part of yourself. Right? The problem is that people who don't believe in themselves will never succeed, and they will also keep those around them from succeeding. So people don't believe in themselves, so they got to convince you why it'll never work for you. Because they don't want to try. They don't think that they can do it, so I got to make sure that you're not going to do it. But what happens is people don't understand this. They say, oh man, maybe it's not for me. Maybe this company's not good. No, it's an issue with the person. You have to understand that, right? Those hurting people are often hurt by people. Look, listen to this. If someone has a splinter in his finger and he allows it to remain there, his finger becomes swollen and infected. Then if another person barely brushes against it, the individual howls with pain and says, "You hurt me." But the reality is that the problem isn't with the person who innocently bumped the finger, it's with the person who has the splinter but has neglected to address the injury. Right? So people get like super sensitive about stuff. You just ask them, like, hey, can I do an appointment? And they just, dude, it's not my fault. You got credit card debt. You've never addressed your finances. Your wife is spending too much money. That's not my problem. I'm just asking you for an appointment.
Right.
But we maybe touched a sensitive nerve.
Right.
And now you think, oh man, Primerica, money, this is not something you want to, the business you want to get into. People are too sensitive. No, that's just the person that you talk to. Right? So they're easily hurt. Emotional pain works in a similar way. Hurting people overreact. They over-exaggerate. They over-protect. They also over-influence. They control the relationship. Relationships are held back by the less healthy person. Listen to this. As you interact with others, remember this. Anytime a person's response is larger than the issue at hand, the response is almost always about something else. So when someone has like a crazy overreaction, it's not about what the issue really is, it's about something else that they're dealing with. Those hurting people often hurt themselves. So, people will just do things, self-sabotage. You can read about that. People start doing really well, and then all of a sudden they do something crazy to kind of unwind all the good that they've done. This is the issue with that person, right? They have to fix that. So, hurting people act different than healthy people. Healthy people, now look, there's two reasons we're going over this. Not to indict the rest of the world, right? We got to look at ourselves too. Right? It's something about us that's hurting because healthy people are more willing to change. Hurting people are not willing to change. This business, because this is not a psychology class, right? I'm trying to teach you how this stuff works, like how it relates to our business. Our business is all about change. Some of the books you read about winning and success, they say the number one reason why people don't succeed is a resistance to change. If I say, hey, you got to dress different, you got to stop cursing, you got to stop being negative, you got to show up, right? You have to have a better attitude, you have to be nicer to people, you got to present, you got all this stuff, and people are like, man, I'm not willing to do all that stuff. Right, so you're resisting change, so you want the same, and you're going to be where you're at, and you're going to keep complaining about it. Healthy people can admit failure. Hurting people will never admit failure. Those people are annoying to be around, right? Healthy people will discuss issues, not avoid issues. Healthy people can learn from others. You get people, they come in the meeting, and then they don't want to take notes. They're not paying attention. They feel like they know everything, yet they're making what they're making, we're making what we're making. So we're looking for healthy people, right? Or if you yourself are not healthy, you got to fix something, right? They're willing to do something. They're willing to try something new. That's how healthy people are. And obviously hurting people have a lot of baggage. One of the things that you will learn in leadership is you cannot have a lot of baggage, even if you do have baggage. Right? If I have baggage, you ain't going to know about it. That's not what our relationship is going to, we're not going to interact at that level. Maybe I'll know your baggage because I'm the leader, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, well, guess what? And tell you everything that's going on in my life too. right? How to deal with hurting people. Don't take it personally. Hurting people are going to find offense when none is given. Right? I hear it all the time, man. I say something in training, and then someone says, oh man, they felt this, they felt that. Okay. You know, I apologize. I always apologize. That's okay. I don't mind. I don't have that type of ego. You meet people, I know them, you've never heard them apologize. You never heard them say sorry. If I offended you, I'm sorry. Now that doesn't mean that I'm going to reconsider ever saying something like that again, or reconsider my thought process or what I actually believe, but, you know, if you're that easily offended, I'm sorry. Don't take it personally. Look beyond the person for the problem. Look beyond the situation. Have you ever had to make a bad news phone call and dreaded it, not so much because of the news you had to deliver, but because you were dreading the response from the person on the other end of the line? Just remember, it's not what happens to you, it's what happens in you that matters. I talked about this a few weeks ago, that life is an emotional game. Are you winning the emotional game of life? You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't feel good, if you're not happy, if you're not content to some extent, you are losing the game of life. Someone else could have nothing, but they're really happy. They're winning the emotional game of life. Emotions are life, right? What's happening in you? If someone lashes out at you, the best thing to do is to forgive them and move on. I mean, look, that's the real personal growth. When someone tries to drag you into a confrontation, and this is as I've gotten older, okay, before I used to do the exact opposite. So if you're going to come at me, I'm going to escalate and take it in. That was the immature me. Now I de-escalate. Right? That is how you know that you are growing as a person. But all of this stuff that we talk about, guys, it's like, you know, like I'll tell you one of the most annoying things with me when I'm dealing with people, and I can tell I'm dealing with a straight up amateur who doesn't have great people skills. So someone comes to me and they have a question for me, because in that particular scenario, I'm the subject matter expert, right? That's why you came to me for a question. Now you come to me, I say one little thing, and then you start talking, and now in an interaction with me, you have talked more than me, even though you asked me a question. You have poor people skills. Always think about that. When you go and you talk to someone, who did more of the talking? If it's always you, you have low awareness. You need to get better at that. Because smart people that are aware, they're keeping track of this stuff. Here's another thing. I hate this, and I used to do it, and someone corrected me. I do not like when I'm explaining something to someone, they're like, yeah, I know. No, you don't freaking know.
Exactly.
Hey, my people didn't come today. Yeah, because I know. You don't know. If you knew, you wouldn't be answering the question, and you wouldn't be in this situation. Take I know out of your vocabulary when you are freaking talking to people. When I get around people that make money, that actually are real business people, run organizations, these are the things that you notice about them right away. You guys know who, for my sports guys, you know Colin Cowherd?
Yes.
Right? I put a lot of people on, I mean, he's an ESPN guy, now he's on Fox Sports, but I mean, for like 15 years, now I've cut down a little bit because I have other things I have to like really invest my time in, but I used to listen to 20 minutes of him every day. He's a sports guy, but it was just the way he communicated. And I like this guy so much. One time he was going to be in Vegas doing a live show. I was like, I'm going to go there, and I got a chance to meet him. And my takeaway from meeting him is I am meeting a straight up celebrity that knows everybody in the world. He's on TV every single day. And the way that he would ask me questions and how he made me feel like he was giving me undivided attention. His people skills were out of this world. I have a friend, she met Bill Clinton in the airport. That was her takeaway. Right? She just remembers this interaction. That's how you gotta be, man, with your people skills. People wanna be around you. Because you have an energy, because you're a good listener, because you make them feel great. I know you guys are getting a little tired, we're gonna end the meeting, right? But listen, when you have an interaction with someone, you gotta ask yourself, like, when they walked away, did they feel a little better? Right? How did that interaction affect that person? When you become a superior, like, when you have superior people skills, I do not. I'm just saying, these are the things that I think about. If me and you have a conversation, do you feel a little bit better about yourself when you walk away? That's the type of person that you want to be. That's how you're going to attract people into your business, into your life. You know, I was thinking about something this morning when I was getting ready. A lot of people in here pray, right? I would add a prayer to find some good people for your business. Add that into your prayer. I pray for sick people, people all around the world, people in my family, you know, all kinds of things. Pray to find great people just like us, man. People that have a goal, that are willing to change, that want to try something new, that want to build something, that have delayed, that think in terms of delayed gratification. You only need a few, man. But if we're going to pray for all these other things, pray for that too, because I feel like that can have a humongous impact on your life, short term, long term. All right? All right, team on three. 1, 2, 3.